Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today. Welcome to It's Time for More Injury Funding, the podcast for all who want to learn about legal funding and its significance in the personal injury, ride share, defective products, medical malpractice, trekking law, workers' compensation, and many other types of law practice domains. I'm your host, Laura, founder and CEO of More Injury Funding, the legal funding counselors with passion for law, medicine, legal funding, and heart for all suffering individuals. In today's episode, I have an honor to be talking to Attorney Shirin Ehyaei. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but hopefully I said that right.
Shirin
Um,
Ehyaei. It's a hard word.
okay.
Yeah.
With Tabak and Co. boutique full service law firm committed to creating and sustaining an environment where attorneys can be their best selves, thereby providing the highest level of service to their clients. Today, we'll be talking with Sharon about aspirations, unique experiences, and how technology and community engagement are shaping her future ambitions in the evolving legal landscape. At the end of our episode, I prepared a fun pop question for her, so stay tuned. Welcome to my show, Sharon.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on here.
It's a pleasure having you. You have the most beautiful name, which I couldn't pronounce. What is its origin, and do you speak any other languages besides English?
Yeah, I love that you asked about my name. So Shireen is actually a Persian name. It means sweet or pleasant, and it has a history in Persian poetry, and stories. So yeah, it's a special name. And I actually speak Farsi. I'm fluent. I can read and write. And I can get by in Spanish. I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, so if
That's
need.
wonderful. Yeah, it's so it comes in so handy, and you live in California, so you definitely need Spanish. So I'm Lithuanian, so I speak Lithuanian, Russian, German, and English. Rarely get to use my German anymore, but the other languages definitely come in handy. And on the other hand, it's easier to learn all other languages around the world once you know more than one language.
Exactly.
So Shirin, you got licensed in California to practice law last year in 2024. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You interned for both U.S. Senators Kamala Harris and Dianne Feinstein. How did these experiences shape your perspective on law and public service, and what key lessons did you take away from working in the Senate?
So those internships I did when I was at UC San Diego in undergrad, and they were very foundational for me. So working with the two California senators really showed me how policy is made, and how policy is made from the inside. And it gave me a really deep appreciation for public service. For Senator Feinstein, I worked in her San Diego office, so we were dealing a lot with Border Patrol and immigration policy. And that was really eye-opening for me. And I actually volunteered at the asylum shelters. We provided aid to the migrants who were seeking asylum, the refugees. We would help them with their legal paperwork. I would do some childcare, teaching them English. So it's one thing to read the policies that you see in the news or, read the laws, but it's a different situation having like a human perspective on the policies that we were working on. And so Vice President, well, she was a senator at the time that I was interning with her. My work there mostly focused on connecting constituents with federal agencies. And it gave me a really incredible behind the scenes look at how those federal agencies work, and how much consideration goes into serving the public effectively. So both of these experiences were really important for me because they didn't just teach me theory, they really showed me how law and policy directly affects people's lives. And now, as an attorney, I'm on the other side of the equation. So I take these laws and precedents and, everything that comes out of these decisions. So I'm applying them to real cases every day. And it's a really full circle experience I had. And it really shaped the way I practice law.
I love it. What a wonderful experience that you will carry through the rest of your life and pass it on to your children and grandchildren one day.
Yeah.
It's rather rare that a law student completes her studies in an accelerated fashion. You completed your undergraduate degree in just 2 years. What motivated you to accelerate your studies, and how did that decision influence your pathway to law school?
So just for some background, I went to UC San Diego, go Tritons. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in political science, and I've always been a very driven person. So when I started undergrad, actually, from maybe before even high school, I always knew I wanted to be an attorney. It was my dream. When I entered undergrad, I saw it as an opportunity to challenge myself. And I actually went into undergrad with a junior status. So because I had taken a lot of advanced placement classes in high school, so that gave me a big head start. And from there, I was doubling up on my classes, and I tried to stay focused and really go through, so I could move quickly towards my goal of going to law school. That being said, it wasn't all academics. I also made it a priority to enjoy my life in undergrad. I lived in San Diego. I went out with
Excellent.
friends, I spent time with my family, and I had a really balanced life. On top of that, I was juggling internships. I had a job at a law firm. And even when I was in undergrad, I started studying for the LSAT. So I was doing a lot, but I always
Mm.
knew I wanted to be an attorney. I just wanted to do it as quick as possible, the most efficient way. It wasn't always easy, but it taught me a lot about discipline and resilience and prioritizing what matters, and all of which has been really important in my legal career.
That's amazing. What you've done so far, and you're still so young, and it's just achieved so much. It's mind blowing to go.
Thank
Uh,
you.
let's talk about your judicial externship, Shireen. Working as a judicial extern for the chief justice or chief judge of the Central District of California must have been eye-opening, like you mentioned. Can you share some memorable experiences from that externship and how it impacted your understanding of the legal process?
Yeah, so that externship was truly a game changer for me. I was able to observe proceedings in federal court. I worked on research, drafting memos, and I had a really front row seat of how decisions are made at the highest level. And one thing that made that experience really unique was the fact that our judge was very open and one-on-one with us. She gave us a lot of face-to-face time. She really took the time to explain all the steps and decisions and policy, and what was happening in the court. She would break down complex oral arguments for us. She would critique trials and like tell us like what attorneys could have done better or like what she would have done. And it really sharpened my legal thinking. And I also had the opportunity to watch some of the best litigators in the world, like famous, litigate in front of me in court. So
Wow.
it was really inspiring and educational. And when I actually passed the California bar, she's the one who swore me into the bar.
Oh, that's so
I have a
fantastic.
really, yeah, it was an incredible moment. She still invites us to her events, and yeah, it's just been wonderful.
That's just amazing. So I'm on board with Gold Georgia Association for Women Lawyers, and I'm fundraising share for election this year. And so what we do, we raise funds for the women law students in all five Georgia law schools. And so I got to see this year and went to three different schools, and what a wonderful experience. So we try to help each other out and make these women succeed and finish their schools with best experiences
I love that's
that's possible.
incredible. I love that.
So passing the California bar exam on your first attempt at just 24 years old is quite an achievement. What strategies did you use during your preparation, and what advice would you give to other Gen Z aspiring lawyers facing the same challenge?
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, it came down to discipline and consistency. I had a whole method of how I studied for the bar. I'm not going to get into that. It's really complicated and very untraditional. But I had a really detailed study schedule. I stuck to practice questions, and I made sure to really take care of myself, both physically and mentally as well. I was going to the gym, I was eating, I was sleeping. So I focused on myself and I listened to my body and I saw what was working for me the best. Um, and I feel like a lot of people who are studying for the bar, they really forget to prioritize their physical and mental health. And it's all a mind game. So it's really important to, take care of those things. And just advice for anyone going into law school or like wanting to go into the legal field, it's really easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing. When I was in law school, I was looking at, okay, this person's in the library studying this much, or this person got this job and what is this person doing after graduation? It's really easy to get caught up in all of that. But the truth is, everyone has a different path. Not everybody wants to go into big law. Not everybody wants to be a litigator. Um, and not everyone learns the same way. So for me, there were plenty of people saying, "Oh, you're not studying enough. You're preparing for the bar exam wrong." But at the end of the day, I passed the bar, I became a lawyer, and I'm in a really happy position. Even though I did some things, a little bit more untraditional or unconventionally. So my biggest piece of advice is don't waste time comparing yourself to others. Focus on what makes you happy and what works for you best, because that's what's going to carry you through at the end of the day.
Just started listening to audiobook. Let them. I don't know if you heard of it.
Let them. Yeah,
No Rambus.
exactly. I know. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's exactly what she said yesterday. I was driving in my car, and that's exactly what she said. Never compare yourself with others. Look at yourself. And if you get angry or upset or jealous, comparing yourself with others, that jealousy or that anger should be your driving force for you to reach your goals. So you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yes.
After starting your career in book law, you transitioned to a boutique firm. What prompted this change, and how has it shaped your legal skills and overall approach to your practice, Shirin?
So my first job out of undergrad was actually I was a paralegal at a really big law firm, and that experience really helped shape my perspective early on. I saw firsthand that I don't think big law environment was for me. That wasn't the environment I wanted to be in as an attorney. It was really high stress. The law clerks and junior associates weren't really getting much hands-on work or meaningful experience. I'm not sure, like I don't want to speak for all of Big Law, but that was the case at my firm. So when I was in law school, I really thought intentionally about where I wanted to end up. And I decided that, a high volume boutique litigation firm would be the best fit for me. Even as a law clerk, I was able to, so I've been at my firm that I'm currently an attorney at now. I've been there for nearly 3 years now. So I
Okay.
started there at the beginning of my second year of law school. I landed the job through the on-campus interview at Pepperdine. And even as a law clerk, I remember like my first week, I was drafting complaints, and I was able to take on real substantive work. I drafted a summary judgment motion, which got granted as a law clerk. I assisted on a trial while I was a law clerk.
Oh, wow.
And that experience really gave me a leg up when I became an attorney, which is why, the boss trusts me now to like go to trial with him. And I've been like trained really well. So now I have my own caseload. I interact directly with clients. I handle my cases from start to finish. And I have had the opportunity to really advance my skills much faster and get more one-on-one mentorship. And just being at a small firm, you know everyone. Like we have a really great and close relationship with everyone in my firm, including the partners. They've always been really supportive and interested in my growth. And they've been invested. So they are really making sure I get the best experience possible. And it's a really special culture at a small law firm. We're not just colleagues, we're a team, and we go to each other's family parties, we hang out on the weekends. We have a great relationship inside and outside of the office. So I feel really grateful to be in an environment like that with mentors who care about me and a firm that feels like home. I couldn't have asked for a
Mhm.
better way to start my career as an attorney.
Sounds like a family environment that you work at.
Yeah.
Where's your firm located? What city again?
We're in Newport Beach.
Hmm,
We're in
hmm.
Fashion Island. We have a view of the ocean. It's
Oh,
great. I love the
I love it.
office.
I'm gonna come visit you soon, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's talk about social media and law. You've expressed interest in the intersection of these two domains or sectors. How do you see social media affecting legal practices today, and what opportunities or challenges does it present for attorneys like yourself?
So social media is really transforming the legal landscape. It's reshaping how firms market themselves, how clients find us, and even how evidence is gathered now. So in a lot of cases, we're always looking at social media to see like what the defendant posted or like whatever. But it also presents challenges like protecting client confidentiality and how you navigate the public perception. So For attorneys like me, it's a huge opportunity to make the law more accessible and engage with a wider audience, especially younger generations, because we're all on social media. And on top of that, I've made really invaluable connections on social media. And that's something I never expected when I first started. But I believe that social media, being on social media and having a presence is really essential for every business in this day and age. Everyone is on it, and it's the best way to connect, showcase your skills, gain attention, and boost your business. So I started on TikTok. I have nearly 8,000 followers on there.
Ooh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so it's
Congratulations.
been amazing to hear from young people like who reach out to me and tell me that I've inspired them to go to school or pursue a legal career. And I also offer them mentoring and tips for people looking to go into the legal field. But that said, it's really important to set yourself apart on social media and stand out from other attorneys. And I think I've been able to attract like a really engaged niche of Gen Z followers who are curious about law school and the legal profession. And it's been really rewarding to build that kind of a community.
This is how we met through social
Yeah,
media, through
exactly.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I love it. In light of emerging technologies like ChatGPT, how are you seeing tools transform the legal profession? What potential do you see for these innovations to enhance or complicate legal work?
Yeah, so tools like ChatGPT and other AI platforms, they're really changing the game. They can streamline research, improve efficiency, and even help with client communication. So they do come with a lot of ethical and accuracy concerns. For example, one of the big ethical risks as an attorney is relying blindly on AI, especially for case law. There's a lot of AI hallucinations. Like you ask it for, hey, find me a case about this and this, and it'll give you just like a fake case. And I've seen a lot of attorneys just blindly take that and put it into briefs, and they've been reprimanded.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there are also concerns about client confidentiality and data security when using ChatGPT and other AI platforms. So it's really important to just let these tools guide, like, help you, but it's not a replacement for human judgment. When used wisely, it can really help lawyers. Um, but, especially for the repetitive tasks, it would help a lot with that. Like, drafting discovery, we have an AI platform that helps us shoot out the objections or propound discovery requests. So, the potential for using AI is enormous. But it all comes down to how you use these tools. You have to use them carefully, ethically, and responsibly.
You are a leader deeply involved in your local community, and that's beautiful. As the president of the Iranian Law Student Association and an advocate in your community, how do these leadership roles contribute to your growth as a legal professional? And what impact do you hope to make through your advocacy?
Being a leader and highly involved in the Iranian community has been one of the most meaningful parts of my journey. It's really helped me amplify underrepresented voices. I mentor students through the Persian community, and I also stay connected to the issues that matter within our community. It's also shaped me into a more empathetic and culturally aware attorney. So, being really connected in this community has also allowed me to help people in ways that just go beyond legal services. For example, I've been able to raise donations to help migrants find jobs through my network.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
very in touch with my Iranian culture, and that connection has been such a source of pride and purpose for me. It's deeply influenced not just my identity, but how I approach service and advocacy. And also being fluent in Farsi, reading, writing, speaking, like it's been a huge advantage, especially here in California. We have a huge Iranian population.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, so it's allowed me to connect with clients, families, and community members on a really deeper level.
It's wonderful. In Georgia, we have pretty good Iranian community as well. And
Yeah,
they're
we're
all
everywhere.
professionals, very, very kind people. And it's interesting, I can tell the Farsi accent right away, and people are like, how do you know? It's like, I know. Looking ahead, how do you envision your career evolving in the coming years?
So looking ahead, I really see myself continuing to grow as a litigator and expanding my expertise in business, real estate, and injury law. One of my dreams has always been to go into in-house counsel, like way down the line at some point. So I'm hoping to be able to gain enough experience to do that someday. But long term, I really want to build a practice that balances excellence and legal work, and I really want to make a meaningful impact in the community.
And I know you will. I know you'll shoot very
I
far.
hope.
I love it. If anyone has some personal questions about what we discussed today and need your legal advice, how can they get in touch with you?
So I'm really active on my Instagram. I respond to DMs. My handle is Shirin is my lawyer. But also you can reach out to me at my work email, which is SEHYAEI at atabekandco.com. ATABEK and co.com.
This was again so great. I hope our discussion about your legal career aspirations and influences, focusing on your experiences and the impact of technology in the legal world, was informative and educational. And as promised, here's one pop question for you. Are you ready, Sheree?
Yes.
Hey, what's your go-to source of inspiration when you are feeling stuck or uninspired?
So when I'm feeling stuck or inspired, I always turn to family, friends, and my mentors. You know, their support means so much to me. And I look at the sacrifices that my family has made. And it really reminds me of why I'm on this path, and it motivates me to keep pushing forward. On lighter days, I love spending time with my loved ones and making a good cup of coffee. That's my biggest source to give me a good kick. Exactly.
Cheers, cheers
Cheers.
to that.
Um, Taking a walk with my dog, Daisy. She's a little Maltipoo. She's 1 year
Oh,
old. Yeah. So these simple
Daisy.
moments help me clear my mind and regain perspective, and help me recharge.
That's wonderful. That was again Attorney Shirin Ehyaei. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the last name. Say it again.
Ehyaei.
With Atabek and Co. based in the state of California. I want to thank you all for listening and watching our story today. For more tips and tricks on legal funding and personal injury law and medicine related topics, follow me, download, like, and subscribe for It's Time for More Injury Funding podcast on several podcast platforms worldwide. And follow More Injury Funding on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, Google Business Profile, and my website at moreinjuryfunding.com. I can't wait to see you, my dear listeners and viewers, at my next upcoming episode. Until then, be well. Thank you.